Uh, like to thank everybody for coming out. Obviously our game, first conference game against Eastern Kentucky on New Year's Eve was disappointing, to say the least. Uh, really, just poor basketball played on our part. You got to give Eastern Kentucky a lot of credit. They defended well. They did an outstanding job offensively. Their kids took good shots. Jade Barber was a beast inside, dominated us defensively and offensively and on the glass. There were a senior-laden team. I think they have 3 fifth-year seniors and 3 other seniors that play significant minutes for them, and it looked like a very mature team playing against an immature team. I said during our winning streak, the interesting thing was going to be how we handled adversity when we had to face it, and we didn't handle it very well. And that's, to put it kindly. Kiana Kirby gave us great minutes off the bench. I really felt like, the 5 subs that I put in the second half gave us good energy for about 3 minutes, and that's really about all the time that we got out of our team from an energy and execution standpoint. And that's disappointing. We had some pretty good practices leading into it. We just got to get back to the drawing board and got a few days to turn our attention towards the best team in our conference in UT Martin, and probably the 2 best players in our conference, if two of the 3 or 4 best for sure, in Heather Butler and Jasmine Newsom. So we've got our work cut out for us.
You said you were going to watch the film, maybe make some personnel decisions based on that, a starting 5. Has any of that changed?
Oh, you're talking about after the game the other day? Yeah, definitely watched the film. We watched the film with the team, the entire film, and it was, I said we needed to watch it to see if it was as bad as it was worse than I thought it was, to be honest with you. I spent all New Year's Eve watching it and going back and forth over it. Not one single offensive possession in the game executed by all 5 players on the floor. Not one possession. That's disappointing. And only about 3 decent defensive possessions, which is the most disappointing thing for me, because we had been doing a really good job defensively as a team, and I just feel like we faced some adversity and we weren't ready for it. And that's I've got to find a way to get them ready, whatever it takes. There probably will be personnel changes. I'm not ready to announce anything. We'll see how practice goes the next couple of days. But based on the performance around the game, there will be some changes. I'm just not ready to tell you exactly what changes those are going to be.
So do they all have a sense then that when they come to practice, they've got to bring it now?
Oh, I believe they know that. Yeah, I don't think there's any question. And and the good thing, they were disgusted. I don't think there's a single player that walked out of the film session yesterday morning that felt like they had done their job on the court for even a possession or 2. And I think that was genuine. And they understand that. Hopefully, they appear to understand that. We'll find out the next couple of days.
Talk about Martin.
Well, Heather Butler and Jasmine Newsom are great players. You're talking about 2 guards that can shoot it deep, can put it on the floor, can create for other people. 2 very unselfish players that do whatever their team needs them to win. If they have a player, the tough thing with them is you really have to load up and play them and respect them so much and they're going to find the open player. And they have other players that can knock down shots from the perimeter. They have some good length in the post, and some of their post players have really developed. It's going to be a challenge, going on the road. We just gave up a conference game at home. We've got to go find one on the road that we're not supposed to win and steal that one. And Saturday's as good a place to start as any, but it'll be a tall task. They're a talented team. Shoot it as well as they always have.
Do you feel like having a player like Erica Sisk this year kind of helps you in that matchup with those 2 really good guards?
It should. It should. The question is, is our team going to be locked in defensively? We're going back before Christmas. We lost the Missouri game, but we were pretty good defensively in that game. We were locked in. They're the nation's top 3-point shooting team, still are. and we did a pretty good job on them. We had maybe 1-2 defensive breakdowns the entire game, and we're going to have that same type of focus and effort level on Saturday, or Martin's going to light us up.
Coach, if you look at Martin's record, it might not be the best, but the teams that they played are some of the best.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. They're not going to win. Their schedule is probably to set them up and help them for when they see one of those teams like that in the NCAA tournament. Your record, non-conference record in women's basketball in the OVC is not the most critical thing. What's critical is preparing your team for the end of the season, because the reality is, and we all know it as coaches, if you don't win our conference tournament, you're not going to the NCAA tournament. And if you have gone through your season and not seen a team, like they've played Baylor and Stanford and people like that, if you haven't seen those teams, or Louisville, you're going to be shell-shocked when you get there. We had that a couple of years ago. We played Duke in the first round. I really felt like we were a little shell-shocked initially by the just sheer size and athleticism that we were facing. So you try to set yourself up for that in the non-conference schedule, and they've done that. Now they can focus on OVC play. They played one game and blew the team they played out.
How hard is it to evaluate a team like Martin when you see film on them playing it?
Oh, it's not difficult with that team in particular, because Newsom and Butler have been there for so long. I mean, their parts are people that have been there before, and they've added a couple of new pieces, but it's not difficult to evaluate what they do. The difficulty is just trying to stop it.
You think they're maybe the best 6-9 team in the country?
I don't know who all is 6-9, but there's probably not a better 6-9 team in the country. I would say that.